and welcome back to the Footballtribeug channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. It's good to have you all. Welcome back to yet another broadcast. Let's wait for a good number of you to so that we can get started for today's conversation, which we hope will be a very fruitful conversation by all accounts and measures. Really. We'll keep this one short, so the early bird will eat the worm kind of thing. So we'll keep it simple and short, and then we'll rush for other engagements really. But again, our gist of the conversation is going to revolve around transfers. Sorry about that. Just testing out my audios to make sure that everything is in place, set and good to go. But thank to all of you that have been with us in the last couple of broadcasts. It was great having you. Great hearing from you guys. It's always sort of what's the right word to use? Inspiring, awakening, or motivating, to say the least. To hear from you guys. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. But yeah, most the season, the last season is almost as good as done. Majority of five leagues in Europe, that's French League One, Premier League, Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, German Bundesliga, and elsewhere. The regular season is as good as done. We're left with a couple of, we've been left with a couple of cup finals here and there, many of which have been played. The DFB Pokal was played the other day. VfB Wolfsburg won it. The Scottish Cup was played. Aberdeen won it, beating Celtic 4-3 on penalties. Of course, we have the UEFA Conference League final tomorrow and that kind of thing. So many cup competitions have been since played. Coupe de France, that final was played. PSG went on to win it, beating Reims 3-0 Zadoi. So anyways, good morning everyone. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Footballtribeug channel. Robert Kesakos is my name. And thank you for joining us. Kindly let me know where you're joining us from. How is your morning? I know it is about afternoon in India. It's then about roughly 8:20 a.m. in the UK, probably around 10 a.m. in Turkey and countries within that region. But it's good to have you guys. Kindly like the broadcast, and also please consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here, so that you can support what we do here on a daily basis. We always come to you live every Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. and at night, usually between 10:30 to 11. That's when we usually go live to discuss all matter sport, among other things. But before we get into the gist of today's conversation, I'd like to interest you guys in an offer for those of you that are interested in attaining digital skills like coding, web design, cybersecurity, which are on a very high demand. There's an entity called Ebostate. Ebostate are based in Kasanga, Kampala, Uganda. They offer, in-person and online digital skills training sessions, as well as career guidances to help help its members to, look for employment or jobs in post-training. So if you're interested in learning cybersecurity, web design, as well as coding, be sure to check out Ebostate. I'll leave the link down in the description so that you can check them out. That's Ebostate, based in Kampala, Uganda. So do check them out. They do have a 5% discount for you that are interested in joining, at least for now. Anyways, guys, let's get into the gist of today's conversation. Like I said, it won't be a very long broadcast. It will be a short one where I go through the transfer rumors and gossip that I've been making. The major stories during the course of the night, late last evening. Of course, for any of you that were with us late last night, you do have the gist of the conversation in regards to transfers. I can see we have Milan. Hi, Milan. How are you doing, my brother? And where are you joining us from? You, Milan Jadav. Hi, Milan Jadav. Where are you joining us from? It's good to have you. Kindly help do me the absolute honor or favor and like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel. Seeing that you're new with us last night, for last night is broadcasted approximately about an hour and 3 minutes. We brought you up to speed on the latest in the conversation of transfers and speculation. But of course, that topic is a never-ending topic in the world of football, especially post summer. I say, oh, I'm trying to read your feedback there. You say, my name, Apak channel subscribe Kaba dear. Oh, you've written in your local language. Is that Hindu? It does feel like a bit like Hindu. I do not know what that means. So if you could maybe type a word or two in English, that would be a huge favor for me trying to understand the context here. But thank you so much for the engagement as well. Much appreciated. So by the time we went to bed last night, the topic was all about Ban Wemo. You know, Manchester United having had conversations with the 25-year-old Cameroon international who has been immaculate this season in the Premier League and netting as many as 20 Premier League goals and about 7 or 8 assists thereabouts. And then as we woke up this morning, according to ESPN, Manchester United are also interested in signing Eberechi Eze. Now, I find the story the story of Eberechi Eze a little bit far-fetched, and please bear with me on this one. Is because if you've signed Matthias Cunha, who predominantly plays as a left winger slash number 10 kind of role, can play as a false 9 hybrid striker. What do you want with Eberechi Eze? Because he more or less plays the same role, unless Manchester United are trying to tell us that they could be on the verge of losing Bruno Fernandes, which then leaves a void for their number 10 role also. Then that's the only time I could sort of kind of believe that news, that Eberechi Eze could be destined for a move to Old Trafford. But I do not see that happening. Not that it cannot happen, but I find the story in itself a little bit far-fetched. So, and then still according to ESPN, Manchester United have agreed on the framework of a deal for Liam Delap. United have had formal talks with Ipswich that they will meet his £30 million release clause, given the green light on the move. Now, again, Liam Delap is one of those players we've spoken about extensively, but Manchester United do face competition from the likes of Chelsea, from the likes of Newcastle, from the likes of Everton, who are all interested in the youngster's signature. So really, it's going to be interesting learning or understanding how this plays out. Then again, as we thought we were done for the day, the news broke that Chelsea were interested in signing a striker from Strasbourg. Now, Chelsea do have a good relationship with Strasbourg. That's the French League One side, because they did loan them Andre Santos. Andre Santos, who's been summoned to the Brazil national team for Carlo Ancelotti's first, a managerial stint as the new head coach for the Brazil national team. I understand they will be playing up against Ecuador in the World Cup qualifiers there. So it's going to be really interesting. And I think they do have sort of a chance to get in this deal. Apologies on the internet glitch. Like I was saying, he wouldn't be able to join them this summer. He would have a potential pre-agreement in the summer of 2026. No chances for the 22-year-old striker to leave Strasbourg in this summer. He will lead the line in Europe as key part of the project. Chelsea like him as possible option for the future. And again, Chelsea have done this quite plenty of times over the last 2-3 years or 2.5 years. They go out looking for these young players within the age profile of 17 to about 23, thereabout, They've signed many of them, or majority of them, from South America, and then added them to their ranks, and then went to loan out many of them. That's why we get to speak about players like Andre Santos. I think when you look at their loan list, it's quite a rich. The likes of Andre Santos, Chukwu Emeka, you did have Trevor Chalobah on Crystal Palace for the first half. Apologies, guys. I seem to be getting some internet glitches during the course of this broadcast, but kindly bear with me as we proceed for today's broadcast. But yeah, that's the player in Emanuel Emegha that Chelsea are trying to sign. And like I've said before, if Chelsea will be linked with a potential move to any good player out there, he's because Emanuel Emegha has not been on the radar of so many clubs, really. At least he's not been at the forefront of the striking conversations. But he's been quite pivotal in Strasbourg season, scoring 14 goals and providing about 3 assists. And he's only 22 years of age. That's for the Dutch international. So really, I find that once again interesting. But also begs the question, Chelsea, if you're interested in signing Liam Delap, if you're interested in signing Ugo Ekitike, Emanuel Emegha, all these are 22-year-olds. Ekitike, a French international, Liam Delap, an England international. You already have Nicholas Jackson, your ranks. I mean, what are you going to do with all these strikers? Not to say that it's forbidden for a team to have more than 2 strikers, but again, anyways, it is Chelsea with their financial decisions. They do sort of like I said, they keep on signing very many players, and usually they have their reasons. So that's the news about Chelsea regarding Strasbourg. Now remember, Strasbourg qualified for the UEFA Conference League after finishing 7th on the French League 1 table, and then Olympique Lyon and Olympique Lyon and Lille. Yes, Olympique Lyon and Lille did qualify for the UEFA Europa League, and then of course the French League 1 has 4 slots for the UEFA Champions League. So those were taken by the champions in Paris Saint-Germain, who finished the season with what? About 19 points ahead of the second place team in Olympique Marseille, and then you have Monaco and Nice. Those are the 4 teams that qualified for the UEFA Champions League. Now, Monaco are trying to sign Ansu Fati on a season-long loan with an option to buy at the end of next season. They're trying to sign Ansu Fati. That's from Barcelona, and we all know how Ansu Fati's career sort of stalled, fallen in the pecking order of other youngsters like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi. Remember, he burst out onto the scene during that cohort of Pedri and Gavi, but then he's since sort of he's been a deflated balloon in as far as his footballing career is concerned. But that notwithstanding, let's wait and see. But that move is close to getting done. So do expect that to go through. Then Monaco they are also interested in signing from Fiorentina. Now Fiorentina trying to give David De Gea a 3-year contract to retain him, but those conversations are still equally ongoing. That may emanate from that side of the footballing world. Anyways, guys, quickly let's rush through the all the other transfer gossip and speculation. We all know about Manchester City really trying to push to sign Tijan Reinders. That's the 26-year-old Dutch international from AC Milan. They are afraid of that engagement because they are afraid other suitors could come in and sort of spoil the deal for them. They also want to wrap it up before the kickoff of the FIFA Club World Cup, which we'll be speaking about extensively quite during the course of the summer, because it's in its debut season for the new format that does include up to 32 teams. So Man City are really ramping up. I think their opening bid is estimated to be about 60 to 65 million euros, although it is reported that AC Milan would command a fee in the region of 80 million euros for the 26-year-old Dutchman. And then a Brazil midfielder, Casemiro, that's an Argentina's Alejandro Garnacho, among the Manchester United, among the players that Manchester United are looking to move on. I think we reported extensively about to find a club elsewhere. Now, again, one, for PR reasons, this doesn't look pretty, but more importantly, for business reasons, this doesn't look pretty. In what sense? Not that Man United shouldn't be moving on Alejandro Garnacho, but if you're Man United, you sort of, in a way, devalue yourself in terms of negotiating power when you say this player has to go to leave. Why? Because teams or clubs will know that you're desperate. You want really gone. It's not part of your plans. So they won't be in a rush to make a deal. Now, whether that will be of competitors or otherwise, remember in January, teams were bidding 40 million pounds to try and sign him, and that was Napoli. That's according to BBC. 40 million pounds, although other sources did report, Chelsea in that conversation. They'll sit back and say, look here, Man United have announced they want him out. So we basically do not need to rush this. We agree on personal terms and everything on player side, and then we go to the negotiation table. You have a player you do not want anymore, give him to us. This is what we are willing to offer. So while under ideal circumstances, for a player like Alejandro Garnacho, you could even command a fee of about 55 million pounds on to 60 in expected add-ons or achievable add-ons, and that sort of value goes a bit down once you say you definitely want him out of the door. So to me, that was the sticking point. Then again, we spoke about Casemiro last night, and we said Man United are really willing to listen. The last two seasons, so, and it's been quite interesting. And then, of course, he is Casemiro is one of the players that Carlo Ancelotti has summoned in his first squad for Brazil. So there's that to think about. So, anyways, that is at that. Then United have held talks with Brentford with Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo. That one we've spoken about extensively. Newcastle, like I said, are in the conversation to sign Liam Delap, but they're also trying to get a new deal with Callum Wilson to keep him at the club. But like I said, for Liam Delap, the competition is between United, Everton, as well as Chelsea. So all those are interested. Guys, kindly like the broadcast. But also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Anyways, then Newcastle are also interested in Pedro. They are also interested in in signing Bryan Mbeumo. So you can see the mix of teams that are attracted to all these players. Now, João Pedro is one of, I think at the time of record signing for Brighton, when they signed him from Watford for 30 million pounds. So he's one of those players that could move on from Fabian's side. So keep an eye on that one. Then we've spoken about Chelsea's interest on the side of strikers. They have up to 4 on their target list. Liam Delap, Victor Gyökeres, that's at Sporting Lisbon, Hugo, and then the striker that they are monitoring or that they want to sign is Emanuel Emegha, that's from Strasbourg, like we've highlighted. So all those are 4 strikers high on Chelsea's list, but out of all the 4 strikers, there's competition. By the way, including Benjamin Sesko, so they are 5 because they also have Benjamin Sesko in their list. Now, for Benjamin Sesko, Arsenal is in the conversation, Liverpool is in the conversation. For Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool is in the conversation. For Liam Delap, United, Everton, Newcastle in the conversation. So you can see really that the competition is going to be stiff for the strikers in the market space this summer. And then Now, the valuation for Ugo Ekitike is about 85 million pounds, which is the equivalent of about 100 million euros for any club that wants to take him out of Eintracht Frankfurt. That's for the 20-year-old French striker who has, I think, a 34-goal involvement in about 48 games this season at competitions. So really posting good numbers there. Then, I mean, Manchester United want Wolves and his right back, Nelson Semedo. That is a 31-year-old. I mean, Nelson Semedo, if you're Manchester United, you shouldn't be looking at 31-year-olds at this stage, especially when you're trying to move on. Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof, Christian Eriksen. Really, I think United should be going for young talent. That's why I find those rumors wide of the mark. And then, Bayer Leverkusen sporting director Simon Rolfes has confirmed Liverpool's interest in 22-year-old German attacking midfielder Florian Wirtz. We've spoken about Wirtz at length. Really, we've explained every detail that there is that deal. Liverpool are involved in, the negotiations with Bayer Leverkusen over a transfer fee, possibly been agreed between the player and the club. Is only for green light to go do his medicals. So let's wait and see how that equally goes on. And then we spoke about Cam Wilson and things of that nature. Then maybe briefly the squad that Carlo Ancelotti or some of the members that Carlo Ancelotti's first squad that he did someone for the Brazil national team. He did summon players, Alson Ramses Becker, Bento, Hugo Sasso. That's for the goalkeepers. For the defenders, that's Alexandro Ribeiro, Beraldo, I think is at PSG, Carlos Augusto, Danilo, Marquinhos from PSG, Henderson, Wesley, and then for the midfielders, he summoned Alex Pereira from Fulham, Andre Santos from Strasbourg. Remember, he's a Chelsea player on loan to Strasbourg, Bruno Guimaraes, that's from Newcastle, Casemiro from Manchester United, Henderson, that's from Atalanta, and then Dawson. Then for the forwards, he summoned Anthony from Real Betis, Estavao, Gabriel Martinelli from Arsenal, Matheus Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers, Rafinha from Barcelona, Richarlison from Tottenham, and Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid. Now, one of the key notable omissions from this squad is Rodrigo Goes from Real Madrid. For me, is one of the notable, miss out for this ones in terms of the squad summon. For Gabriel Magalhaes, that's the Arsenal defender, I completely understand because he's been out injured through a hamstring injury, and you've done of. I will come with deeper conversations later tonight at 10:30 p.m. That's when 10:30 p.m. Let's do it at maybe at 10 p.m. sharp, so that we don't miss out on some people. Yesterday we had Mr. Leo from Thailand, and unfortunately was with us for only a couple of minutes because then he had to go to bed. So I'm trying to understand the ideal time or especially for some of our international audience, so that we'll find a suitable time that is suitable for our audience in Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, and then those in Thailand, India, and elsewhere. So we'll try to come as early as 10 p.m. or even 9:45 around that time for the broadcast. So just be sure to turn on your notifications so that you can be notified once we go live. Otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. Guys, catch you guys later. Do not forget to check out the channel. Plenty of content there is for you. Then today, about my 2020 Premier League predictions, table prediction. So we'll be discussing and a little more in tonight's broadcast. Anyways, have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.